Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, now you know that the nature of the consciousness is empty and you are that. And the process to see the true nature of who we are is by dissolving the mind or letting go of the mind or dismantling the mind. So, today, to let go the mind, let's look into our defensive attitude in us. No doubt we are all defensive at some point, especially when we have to be part of the world. We are seeing things and we're hearing things, and some of the things come towards us to fluctuate our lives, isn't it? And that's where we become defensive. And when this defensive attitude is there, we are physically fighting with the world, and when we can't fight, then the fight is left in the mind. And the mental fight is the one thing is very hard to let go. Physical fight, we can definitely let go. Why? Because we can't fight. There's rules and regulations. You cannot do that, especially in the civilized world. So we can step back from the physical fight. We can do that. But the mental fight continue, isn't it? And when we continuing our mental fight with the narration by writing the story, notice the fight is hard to drop. The mental fight. We keep writing the story in our head to win the fight eventually. And most of the time, when you are writing the story, you don't know how to win the story, or you don't know how to let go. It prolongs. And when it prolongs, notice how much stress you are inviting from just writing the story. You're physically stressing, you're mentally stressing, you're emotionally stressing, and basically just experiencing something from the world, you are torturing yourself. And because of this torture, mental torture, we are seeking the spiritual freedom. Spirituality promises freedom from the mind. Now, freedom from the mind is by investigating the mind, investigating oneself, why the fight is there in the first place. So this defensive attitude is there, which is the mental fight. Now, let's investigate why we fight, why we become defensive. This defensive nature is not spontaneous. It's happening from the deep-rooted belief in us. All fight is happening because of the belief. And the belief is there because of our past experience. All experience that we have gone through in life always leaves an idea. Okay? And the idea sits in us and eventually becomes a belief. So, today ask yourself, why am I defensive? That's it. Why am I defensive? If you ask yourself, why am I defensive? Then there's a reason for being defensive, isn't it? Definitely you're trying to protect your identification, you protect your life, especially when something is coming towards us to fluctuate you. You are defensive. But it's not just the surface layer. There's ingrained conditioning in you to see that And to dissolve that, we have to investigate and sit with ourselves to see the root cause of our fight. And we have to dissolve the root as well. And that's the way to be free from the mind. And what we're doing is just one of the layers we are investigating. So sit with yourself, ask yourself, why am I defensive? Don't tell me that you're not defensive. You are. Some of you said that, no, I'm not defensive, I can let go. Especially when you are being part of the spiritual practice, you have this idea that when something happens, not being part of that is already freedom. You see that as you're not being defensive. But that act itself is running away from the situation, isn't it? That's like a passive aggressive movement. So not being part of the fluctuation is still a fluctuation. That is like ignoring the issue. If you are not defensive, how come there's the positive idea present in you, that by aligning to the positive idea that you're ignoring, or you're trying to let go the mental fight? That means you're holding on to the positive idea by thinking not fighting is freedom. But true freedom is not holding on to that positive layer. So that is still an attachment. Positivity is still an attachment. The positivity is still a mental impression in you, and you're holding on, you're living your life from that. Yes, that is healthier than the negative. It's better than the fight. But if that's not the true freedom, that is latching onto the positive side of the life. And true freedom, to be free from the mind, you have to let go the duality. Duality is the negative and the positive. Both gotta go. The both aspect of the mind gotta go. So we have to investigate. So again, let's go back and ask ourselves, why am I defensive? When we ask ourselves the question, why am I defensive, there is the answer. Why? Because you are defensive. The defensive attitude is there. When the attitude is there, there's a reason for being defensive. So when you ask yourself, why am I defensive? There is the answer to have that attitude. Now, whatever answer resurfaces in you, now utilize that. Just don't stop stop the investigation there. When the answer resurfaces, by asking yourself, why am I defensive? Now use that answer and use it to question yourself, why is that important? Or why do I have that answer? So this is the way to trace the mind back further. And from the second question, you have a second answer. No matter what answer comes in, same way. Why do I have that? Or why do I associate it with it? Or why is that important? So this way you trace your mind backward. And this is the way to see the ingrained belief in you. Ingrained belief is making you become defensive. The ingrained belief is making you fight with yourself and with the world. So when you see the ingrained belief, Your life is happening from there. Now, you ask yourself, why do I have this belief? You have to ask yourself, why do I have this conditioning belief? Because the freedom from the mind is about letting go of the mind. It's about dismantling the mind until there's nothing more can be dismantled. So when you see the ingrained belief and your life is happening from there to become defensive, why? Why do I have this ingrained belief in me? And then you trace it back further until you see the fear. And when you see the fear, you have to dismantle the fear as well. And because of the fear itself, you're trying to protect, you're being defensive. And the fear will make you fight. The fear will make you protect. And you have to understand you have to understand the fear. Fear of what? And, you question yourself, why do I have fear? And then that's the way to trace your fear backward, to see the layers of fear. Ultimately, you see the fear of death. And because of the fear of death, all the fight is present in us, just to avoid the death. We avoid the death because if the death is there, that means no more fun in life, isn't it? No more experience. So because of no more experience, no more fear, no more fun, we avoid the fear of death. And that fear makes us run away. Fear makes us fight. Fear makes us control, resist. So fear is the source of all friction. Defensive attitude is the fear. And freedom, true freedom, spiritual freedom, is about going beyond the fear, by dissolving the fear, by tracing the fear backward until there's no more fear is left. And that's where we become empty. This is the way to be thorough in ourselves, to get to no mind. Dismantling, tracing the mind backward is the way to go to no mind. We have to build this foundation of tracing the mind backward with every fight we experience. We have to trace it back. And when we trace back our fight from all aspects of our lives, and then that becomes a good foundation. And when you ask ourselves, who am I? That's where we're going to click. That's where we're going to see who we are. And when we see who we are, when we catch ourselves in the process by asking ourselves, who am I? That's where the ego drops, the fight drops. We see who we are as emptiness. And that's true freedom, my friend. But you're not there yet. As the nature of the consciousness, you are that. The idea is there. I am consciousness. The nature of the consciousness is empty. I am that. I am truth. Right? All is there as a concept. The reality is not there. Why? There's a lot of fluctuation going on in life right now. So let's use our fluctuation and let's trace the fluctuation back to figure out the root cause of the fluctuation and eliminating the root as well, so we can see and rest in who we are. How to make that happen? Investigate yourself. Investigate your fight. Yes, the world fluctuates all the time. The people are fluctuating our lives. they are just the trigger point. But the source of all struggle, all fight, all fear is within us. And that is the mind. Mind is the source of all frustration, anger, madness, fear is the mind. And we have to investigate our own mind to be free from our own mind. So investigate your mind, my friend. Investigate your fight, why you're fighting. If you're seeking true freedom. Again, true freedom is freedom from the mind. Freedom from the mind is freedom from the fear. Fear is the byproduct of the mind. Anyway, that's all in this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. Thanks for commenting. Yeah. That's all in this video. Take care for now. I will see you in the next video. Bye.